Think for a second of the first things that come to your mind when you hear the word flow. There's a lot of different connotations and a lot of different ways you can think about what flow is. And today I want to share with you one that you maybe have not heard of before, and that's called the flow state. And this actually comes from a Croatian psychologist by the name of Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who defined flow. He says, flow is a psychological state involving an intense level of focus and a substantial increase in performance. It is especially valuable to performers and competitive athletes, but can be used by anyone. And so today I want to talk about how we can use flow. For me, I like to think of it as experiencing getting in the zone. I'm a drummer and I can sometimes get in the zone as I'm playing the drums. For you, it may be different. But I want to share with you the research that I've done recently and the insights I've made on how flow can actually influence our lives. As students, it's important for us to keep up with everything, to perform well at school, and also to have our own well-being. And it can be complicated. And so the question I ask is, how can we as students apply flow state and have more satisfying experiences? Learning about this flow theory can help us as students be more engaged. And I want to share with you how it's helped me in my story, and then apply it to you and share with you the research that I found. My story is pretty simple. I, like many of us, was a student at the beginning of 2020. It was actually my first semester at UVU, and I was experiencing a lot of things, including the worldwide pandemic. And I was actually first exposed to the flow theory when I was reading an article at work that talked about job satisfaction. And I was intrigued by it because at this time in my life, I was not feeling satisfied with anything. My hobbies weren't doing it for me. My friends, my work, my school, I just wasn't really enjoying life. And the flow state was intriguing to me because it promised that I could be engaged in things. And I tried it out. And as I did, I actually found myself having more satisfaction in life and exploring new avenues that I didn't anticipate before. I found myself exploring new hobbies and meeting new people. And now that I've explained my story a little bit, I want to share with you the research question and what I found from my research. As stated previously, my question is, how can we as students apply this flow theory right now? And the inspiration comes for this question as I've observed my friends and my classmates who, like me, struggle sometimes to feel engaged in coursework. In fact, a lot of people are asking this question. There was a survey done in 2020 by the Digital Promise and Langer Research Associates organizations, and they report that before COVID, around 84% of students were satisfied with their coursework. And that number dropped after COVID to 48% of students who were satisfied. That's a big drop. So hopefully as we discuss flow state, we can learn how we can be more engaged and more satisfied in our coursework as students. Now that I've described some of the background of that question, I want to provide some actual answers from my research. And I'm going to share a little visual of what I found from our psychologist friend, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. And he says some things that are required in order to get into the flow state. The first is the presence of challenging, clear goals. For me, goals have always been important and being motivated to do really anything. The second is having a sense of serenity and a lack of cautiousness. This is where we try to be at peace and to really be focused in what we're doing. The third is immediate feedback. We want to have feedback immediately, whether that be from ourselves, looking at what we're doing, or from friends. We want to feel that. The third is a firm confidence that the task we're doing is doable. This is actually really important. I found another article from the Canadian Journal of Behavioral Science, and they say that this part, as they interviewed performers and athletes, is the most important in experiencing flow. That we need to feel like we can do something. We need to have that self-affirmation. And the last is having a lack of awareness of physical needs. We need to have taken care of ourselves enough that we're not worried, we're not aware of migraine maybe that we had because we are dehydrated. These are 5 things that we can do as we try to get into the flow state. For you, it could be any one of those. I know for me, I explored different options, and And while all of these answers are different, they try to get to the same goal of achieving the flow state. To conclude, the flow state has really brought me more satisfaction in life. I found true ecstasy as I've tried to explore new avenues, and that I don't just survive the quarantine now, I have started to thrive. And there are long-term effects that this can have on me and all of us. We, as we explore the flow state, we can expand our horizons. There may be career paths that we don't know about, that we haven't experienced because we're not as engaged. And today I've shared my story of how flow has helped me explore. And I've shared some insights from my research on how it can maybe help you. And the question that we all have to ask ourselves now is, what doors will we open as we experience the flow state? Thank you.